They dislike these guys and they're looking at you to knock them out.
I'm here to just have fun.
You're there to knock them out.
I'm here to just have fun and do what I do. I'm gonna make it do what it do. That's what I do. I'm Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather has made it crystal clear that Manny Pacquiao teaming up with Terence Crawford in the training camp is not something that keeps him up at night. Speaking with his signature confidence, the undefeated legend brushed off any notion that a new training partnership could somehow change the game against him. According to Floyd, after decades at the absolute top of professional boxing, there is no style, no combination, and no game plan he has not already seen, studied, and solved inside the ring. The pound-for-pound great made it known that his wealth of experience speaks louder than any tactical adjustment an opponent could make. For Mayweather, variety in opposition has always been part of the job description, and facing different fighters throughout his illustrious career has only sharpened his ability to adapt. In short, bringing Crawford into the equation changes very little, at least in Floyd's mind.
And knock the guy out in the first round. People gonna say it wasn't worth it. If I carry him a few rounds, then they're gonna be like, oh, man, this was fake. So you can't please everybody, so I'm gonna go out there and do what I do best.
When asked about his motivation to keep stepping into the spotlight, Floyd Mayweather gave an answer that felt as much like a performance as a statement. He made it plain and simple: he is here for the love of the moment, soaking in the energy that only a crowd of passionate fans can bring. For Money Mayweather, entertainment has always been at the heart of everything he does, and that has not changed one bit. He acknowledged that his fans crave excitement above all else, and delivering that thrill is precisely what keeps him coming back. Whether inside the ropes or commanding a room with his presence, Mayweather knows his audience better than almost anyone in the sport's history. For him, this is not just about boxing, it is about giving the people a show they will never forget.
Let him go 8 rounds though, right? Not gonna be it.
If I want to let him go 8 rounds, I may let him go 8 rounds.
Floyd, you talked about you wanted to focus on entertainment. Is anything in pro wrestling? Does that interest you? You spot I recommended before? Is that something that...
We don't know. We may do it again. We don't know what the future holds. But we know we're going to have some...
Terence Crawford has been turning heads lately, and not just for his work in his own gym. The current welterweight world champion has been spotted inside Manny Pacquiao's training camp, getting an up-close look at how the Filipino icon prepares for battle. Crawford was not simply a bystander either, he was reportedly engaged, attentive, and actively involved in sharing his knowledge with the veteran champion. It is a fascinating pairing that has the boxing world buzzing. Crawford's presence suggests a level of respect and camaraderie rarely seen between elite fighters at this stage of their careers. Watching one of the sport's most technically gifted current champions invest his time in Pacquiao's corner sends a powerful message about the kind of preparation Manny is bringing into this chapter of his comeback story. The chemistry between Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford inside the training camp has been nothing short of electric, according to those close to the situation. The two elite fighters have been going deep into the details of the sport, trading knowledge built from years of championship-level experience. From fine-tuning technique to dissecting strategic approaches, their time together has been described as a genuine exchange between two masters of their craft. Those watching from the inside say the sessions have been both intense and intellectually rich, with both men taking the process seriously. For Pacquiao, having a fighter of Crawford's caliber in his corner adds a fresh dimension to his preparation. It is the kind of collaboration that could give the 8-division world champion a meaningful edge when fight night finally arrives.
Menang away loss 10 rounds na.
Akan ng title. Balikan ko na lang.
Inside the gym, Manny Pacquiao has been putting in the kind of work that silences doubters and excites fans who never stopped believing. The legendary Filipino champion has been drilling hard, pushing his body through grueling sessions while keeping his focus razor sharp. His speed, always one of his most celebrated weapons, has been front and center during training, flashing with a brightness that hints at something special in the making. What stands out most, according to those present, is not just the physical output but the mental dedication Pacquiao brings to every session. He approaches each drill with purpose and discipline, treating preparation as sacred. There is something deeply compelling about watching a man with nothing left to prove continue pushing himself as if everything is still on the line, and for Manny, in every sense of the word, it truly is. Manny Pacquiao has never been shy about expressing what boxing means to him on a personal level, and stepping back into a full training camp has clearly reignited something powerful within the champion. With a wide smile and unmistakable enthusiasm, Pacquiao opened up about how the return to training has filled him with an energy he says is difficult to describe. For him, simply being in that environment again is enough to make him feel alive in a way little else can. He was equally passionate when speaking about his love for the sport, making it clear that boxing is far more than a career, it is a calling he has answered for most of his life. Pacquiao believes his journey is far from over, and those words carry the weight of a man who has seen the highest peaks the sport has to offer and still chooses to climb. His passion remains as real and as raw as ever, and camp is only just beginning.
For me, that I have rest, I have time to rest for the longest time in my career. It help a lot for my body and my mind relaxing. And this time around, I am so excited and feeling like I'm young.
Do you feel you have something to prove in this fight, Manny? I know you've accomplished so much, but do you feel you personally you want to show something to the world or prove something?
Oh yeah, it's a challenge that they might think that Manny's career is over and he's old like that. So something wrong that I need to prove it, and I'm not.
Ronnie Shields is not one to mince words, and when he weighed in on the Pacquiao versus Mayweather conversation, he delivered a statement that is sure to raise some eyebrows. The veteran trainer made it abundantly clear that the boxing world should not be caught off guard if Manny Pacquiao walks away with the victory. In Shields' view, Manny brings a very real and dangerous threat to the table, and dismissing him would be a serious mistake. Shields pointed specifically to Pacquiao's explosive hand speed as a factor that could genuinely trouble Mayweather and shift the outcome dramatically. Beyond raw athleticism, Shields argued that the smarter, more disciplined game plan on fight night will ultimately be the deciding factor. His message was confident and direct: do not sleep on Manny Pacquiao, because the man still has everything it takes to pull off one of boxing's most stunning upsets.
Fight, man. It's a very tough fight for both guys. You know, and look, it's hard to pick a winner for me on that fight because, you know, Pacquiao is a slick, fast, you know, strong guy. You know, he's a pressure fighter. And I mean, man, that's gonna be explosive. It's all, you know, and I guess whoever had the best game plan, I think is.
Freddie Roach, a Hall of Fame trainer whose name is practically synonymous with Manny Pacquiao's greatest triumphs, is fully convinced that a rematch with Floyd Mayweather would end differently this time around. Roach did not hold back in expressing his belief that Pacquiao has what it takes to hand Floyd his first professional loss, pointing to Manny's performance in their first encounter as evidence that the outcome was closer than the scorecards suggested. According to Roach, the key difference in a second fight would come down to sharpness. He expects Pacquiao to arrive faster, better prepared, and even more focused than before, qualities that could flip the narrative entirely. For Roach, this is not wishful thinking, it is a calculated assessment from a man who has sat in Pacquiao's corner through some of the most defining nights in modern boxing history. His confidence in Manny is unwavering, and it is clearly built on more than just loyalty.
Looked like he had turned back the clock maybe 5 years. It looked like he was quicker, sharper, more explosive than I've seen him since pre-Floyd Mayweather fight.
I do agree with you, and he gave up his killer instinct a lot by he didn't want to hurt his opponents, and all he has to do is beat them. And after losing a couple bad decisions, that kind of went away a little.
So did you see a little more killer instinct?
Definitely, yeah. In this training camp, it was. Even in his last fight, it was a little more. He's shown a little bit more each fight. And then in this training camp, we definitely saw that killer instinct. And then in the first round, I think that's why he kind of snuck out of there a little bit early.
Jeff Mayweather has never been one to sugarcoat his opinions about the sport, and his take on a potential Pacquiao rematch is no different. The veteran trainer and uncle to Floyd Mayweather raised a pointed observation, suggesting that Floyd strategically held off on pushing for a second fight until Manny Pacquiao had aged past his absolute prime. It is a claim that adds an interesting layer to the ongoing conversation surrounding the timing of this potential showdown. Jeff made it clear that this rematch did not have to wait this long. In his view, when Pacquiao was still at full strength and regularly competing against elite opposition, a second fight was entirely achievable. The fact that it did not happen during that window, Jeff implies, was no accident. It is a candid perspective from someone with a front-row seat to the inner workings of Floyd's career, and it is one that many fans across the sport will find hard to ignore.
The advantage, he waited until Manny slowed down and got a little bit older before taking that fight. This thing here too, it looks like, he's waited for Manny to be retired a little while before taking the fight again. Do you think he
Well, that's not true because
Jeff Mayweather continued to press the point, arguing that the window for this rematch was wide open during a period when Manny Pacquiao was still an undeniable force at the top of the welterweight division. During those years, Pacquiao was lacing up his gloves against the very best in the world, proving his elite status night after night, which would have made a second meeting between the two legends a genuinely compelling and competitive event.
But Floyd's been fighting exhibition fights quite often, whereas Manny's been worried about pops. Do you think he's just looking for like I said, the right time to do it? That would favor him.
I mean, I don't think it's nothing worried about the right time. I mean, I think that both of them, it's a great fight for the fans, and I think that, if it's a great fight for the fans, it's something that. I mean, at the end of the day, of course, who's ever trying to get this fight to happen, it's about how much money they can grow.
How do you think
with two of the biggest names still? I mean, that just goes to show you that the names that came before this generation are still worthy.